Why Chris is soon be a nightmare for MrBeast? Oh,
situation could become a complete disaster for MrBeast's brand. However, it may also provide some unique.
Again, I don't really know anything about this, I have to be honest. And I did not even notice anything different with like the new MrBeast videos. I don't really watch them that much though.
Benefits. So let's begin by going over the
Okay, I'm
drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the MrBeast channel. In mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck loving dude. Yet beginning in March 2000,
Chris was my favorite out of the whole fucking crew until like I became like a massive fan of Chandler. Chandler's now my favorite. Because he's the only like OG that like actually acts like how he started. He's my favorite now. I fucking love Chandler.
In 22, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits.
But again, Chris started becoming so lame throughout like the middle of like all the videos. Like he just started like being so fucking cringe. And then I just didn't enjoy him as much as I like enjoyed Chandler, because Chandler was still like that fucking goofy guy. He was from the goofy guy from the start and goofy guy from the last. But Chandler never changes, he's just there. Yeah, exactly. Chandler's
making tweets such as, "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris
there's so many dudes that have fucking nails. Like my friend Toby gets his nails done, my mod Moped gets his fucking nails done. And like gets them colored and stuff. But I feel there's nothing wrong with that. It's very modern now to have like fucking colored nails. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't really feel like that's like an insignia of like anything, because I know some of the fucking straightest guys ever. They fucking touch your hand, they're gonna be like, "I'm not gay," right? And they get their fucking nails done. Okay, like I don't feel that's wrong. Kill Tobin Moped and a gay now. That's pretty true. MrBeast.
Highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs I had to prove I was myself because I quote look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?" Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy."
Oh yeah, but that's a really good joke though. That's a really good joke, man.
Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better." Yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his MrBeast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled, "I strapped a GoPro to a fish."
Okay. I gotta be honest, like I don't watch the MrBeast Reacts, to be honest.
Which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been..."
He looks like my grandma. Oh yeah, wait, there's a grandma. That's a grandma. He dressed like my grandma does. He dressed like my fucking grandma. The hair's just shit. Yeah, it is.
Adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother.
MrBeast runs fucking like so many channels, so much fucking like projects. Obviously gonna steal content to make extra money. Obviously, man. Obviously.
Okay, so some people just gonna ignore Chris's nails. Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild. The response to the video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay.
Okay, well that's ridiculous. Like, I hate Carl from the bottom of my heart. I think whenever he became a part of the whole thing, it all just went downhill. Like, I think like right before we lost like Viking, and we lost fucking everything. I do agree that Carl is like a bad influence on the channel, but not on the people. Like, I don't feel like he fucking made him gay. Like, that's just fucking ridiculous. And just like one guy being like, "Hey, I paint my nails," and then now I paint my nails. That's just because it would just be like fun. They replaced Viking with Carl. Yeah, they did. I think they did.
Now, this was pretty ridiculous, as Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2000.
Ain't no way bro actually left his wife and kids. I'm pretty sure, like, I saw from like a little clip that they are actually divorced. But what does that mean, like he left his kid? Is that true? Did he leave his kid? Because if he did that, he's a scummy as fuck. He did leave his kid? Because I know they're divorced.
Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage.
Because if he left his kid, that's the most scummy fucking thing ever. They're for 1 year, but he's with his kid. Oh, but that's fine then. That's fine. Like, people change, marriages fall apart, that's fine. I know people that have been married fucking, like, I've heard of people that have been married fucking 9 times, right? Like, a marriage not working out, and because people change, that's completely fine. But like, as long as you take care of the kids, that's all that matters.
In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding.
Marriage is just dumb shit. Yeah, obviously, because the wife probably got a lot of fucking money off of Chris. That's why if I ever became like a multi-fucking millionaire, I would have every single thing that like a cars. I would not have cars in my name. A house, I would not have it in my name. I would have nothing in my name. I would have it in my mom or dad's name. The cars, everything. Cause like if I ever got divorced, I don't want that fucking woman to get nothing of it. Fuck that.
Wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed the split in a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nail.
That's drawing a massive conclusion there. Why does the fingernails like being colored and the ring being gone signal anything? So what? Because my friend Toby painted his nail one day but didn't wear his hat anymore. Does that correlate the fact that Toby's never gonna wear a hat again? No. Like painting nails does have nothing to do with it.
Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming
that's what Sunny VTube worst video. I feel like Sunny's videos were really good at one point, but like they appeared their turn. That's why I didn't want to watch them anymore on stream. I like the EDP445 video, but that video was also like really good because it was something that everybody agrees on, that everybody hated him. Of course, I had some issues with it, like he was also drawing conclusions and blah blah blah. You guys know it. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's just like, he just fell off, man. He's drawing conclusions to like subjects that's not there. It's same with like Cribble Cup and stuff like that. There's a lot of issues with that videos as well. Like, goddamn.
That Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end.
Exactly.
Chris went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long nails. As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his...
If you guys ever see me write that I'm taking a break from social media or like from any of that shit, I didn't write that. I did not do it. I'm just gonna leave and then not tell you guys if I'm just gonna leave. Cause fuck that. No. I'll tell you guys for like why I'm not gonna stream for a month because I'm going on vacation, right? But if I'm taking a mental health break, I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna tell you guys shit. Like, who cares what other people fucking think? Like, it just seems just like... I've never understood those mental health breaks. I'll never understand that.
His former self. He'd rather...
Just don't write.
Do the opposite and double down on his...
He looks like my fucking grandma. He looks like my grandma from my dad's side. Like the dress.
Feminine image, showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT.
But like, I don't feel like, like again, it's not a conclusion he's drawing here. Have you never been to the fucking like red carpet and stuff like that, where like with Oscars and all that, where people dress up in like these like really fucking weird fucking clothing? Somebody dressing up as like something could correlate to anything. Like me going to like a fucking, you know, like going to the store. In a fucking like Star Wars, like stormtrooper costume from Star Wars, does that correlate me changing something really bad about myself or like anything like that? No, I just dress like that sometimes. Or if I'm dressed like that all the time, who cares? It's just I don't
Choice
get it.
Awards looking like this before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing genders.
I think
Chris would expand on this by stating, informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies, which received a positive response from both Carl and MrBeast, who wrote,
I've never cared about that, like, HT, whatever the fuck it is. I've never cared about people changing who they are. But if you get mad at me because I misgendered you, I lose every single ounce of respect from you. If I see a chiseled motherfucking man with a sharp ass fucking, like, with like a short fucking like chin and like a fucking like massive six pack and like just the biggest dude bro ever, and that motherfucker tells me I'm not a man, I'm a girl, fuck you. I'm gonna call him a man just to piss him off. And that's just fucking truth. It's not the way, exactly, it's not the way.
Oh, got you. I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend. While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming.
But yeah, like, I just wanted to like the HRT, like what they take, right? I've never had a problem with it as long as people are buying it themselves and it's not government funded. Because I already have like a suspicion that it's going to start being government funded in a lot of like Western countries such as like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Germany. You know, like a lot of like very, very developed countries. And I really don't want that to happen because I don't feel like it's something that I, through my taxes, should have to fucking pay for. That's my only issue with it. If people do it themselves, I do not give two fucking shits.
As a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
I completely agree with that, like this like sentiment, but in so many cases this is just completely fucking wrong. Like, were the Greeks fucking weak because they didn't fight a war for 50 years and started doing like developing democracy and stuff like that? No. Like, I'll never understand that. In some periods, this is definitely true. Like, the Romans definitely create like extremely fucking like strong men and stuff like that. But is this always the case? No. Like, if you friendly say, oh, pardon me, I actually female, might call me instead. Yeah, sounds exactly. Sounds way better, right? Because I'm not the fucking problem growing up with like how I've grown up for my entire fucking life, right? That's not a me problem. You changed. You have to kind of accommodate the fact like I'm not exactly, you know, sure what is when, what is what, and there's barely any of those types of people in my country. So that's not a fucking me problem.
Weak man times. Chris responded to this comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love."
Like, I know one thing that's like really bad about it is the fact like, you know, trans people have an extremely high suicide rate, like an extremely high one. Like it's bigger than men and women combined. You know, like on the average of like the percentage wise, which is like a really bad fucking thing. I know women barely kill themselves, but men kill themselves a lot, and women and trans people kill themselves even more. I feel like that's like a really bad thing. That could be like that kind of weakness could be shown to a child when a child needs like that kind of like father figure in their life. But I'm guessing Chris is probably gonna be like taking good care of the kid. I'm not expecting anything bad because Chris is still Chris. Like, I don't think that's that much gonna fucking change.
I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything.
Oh God.
I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. Chris's response received some positivity such as, "I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life. As well as I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd..."
True. Fucking true. You'll usually see like most of the best parents that are out there are usually people that actually take the time out of their fucking day and like make sure that their kid have a lot of love and a lot of attention. You'll also see that in like a lot of like you know, very famous people's children. Most of those kids are fucking horrible. Cause no, like they never got that fucking attention at all. Cause their parents were out like doing so much different shit. Which is why I'm guessing Chris probably has a lot of time with his kid. Cause like again he's filming. He has probably weeks off where he doesn't do anything really. And there's so much different types of content that when like he's not doing anything, right? And he's rich anyway. So I don't think that's really matters all that much. I think Chris is spending loads of time with his kid. I don't think that's really bad.
It also received an equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your...
People get divorced all the time. This motherfucker is just doomer post as fuck.
Son, just so you could paint your nails and act zesty.
And it's not like a decision you make over a goddamn cup of fucking coffee, okay? Come on, man. Where he is, and then weeks where he's at the place just filming. Well, sure, right? But, like, he's probably spending, like, but, you know, parents usually take turns, right? Like, if he's spending a month with his mom, he's probably also spending a month with his dad. Like, come on, man. Like, Chris hasn't shown any sign of being a bad parent at all. Like, these people just fucking doomer post.
Pathetic. He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house, a life full of difference and being alone.
The fuck? Why should he be bullied at school? Why? I don't understand that. That means that you would have bullied him probably at school, like the kid. Does that correlate to like everybody? Because that's basically like, okay, imagine Chris has a fucking like has like a fucking son, right? And then Craig C here has a fucking son, right? And then Craig C knows that Chris like Tucker's dad, Chris is fucking trans, and then you know Craig is like, that kid's dad is trans, beat him up. Instead of being like, oh, you should accept, you know, this is a bit of a different dad and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand like all this hostility. Probably a kid can be bullied and other kids at school. And the only true part the kid can be bullied by other kids at school. Yeah, if they find out that could happen. And I always feel like if a kid is being bullied at school, it's usually one, because the kid itself is fucking weird. Two, there's something wrong with the kid, like a disability, that when they can't help it, and they're gonna get bullied just purely due to that. Like, kids are fucking cruel, Jack, okay? Like a fucking Metal Gear V Rising meme. And three, cause of some outside force of the parents. The parents are like, that kid is fucking weird, his dad is gay, right? Like, saying something like that. Well, because of their parents too. Like, I don't feel like, yeah. But shouldn't the parents of those kids like change their kids' minds? I feel like they should. Like, I don't know. I've never seen, like, I've never heard a single person in my school, and my school was fucking brutal with kids, man. And I've never heard a single fucking person at all be bullied because of the parents. Never. Never. And then it's definitely the teacher's fault, it's the parents' fault on the other kids and stuff like that, and that should just be like told immediately. Like, I don't understand that. Because Chucker's just like a fucking kid. He's not doing anything wrong.
Must have missed the point in that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure? Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he once again reiterated his
it's racist, etc. You're probably true, Ventus. You're probably true. But just because you are a racist and an intolerant person does not necessarily equal that you just hate everybody. You could kind of call me an intolerant person. I hate everybody. I hate every fucking body. Gay, straight, trans, I don't give a fuck. I hate everybody. Everybody is an enemy until I learn that they're alright. That's how I feel like life is going. Right? I'm intolerant as fuck. But does that necessarily conclude that I'm like just a bad person and I'll teach my kids to be racist? No. Well, to be fair, it's more of an American problem, I guess. True.
Certainty in a new post reading, it's never too late to start being yourself, which received praise from MrBeast.
It is also hard to like even like think about this, because I'm thinking about this in a logical fucking European Danish sense here, and we're talking about like people that live in America, which are just so fucking radicalized in like the right and the left, right? Where we're just sitting here like, oh yeah, man, like, you know, like here rational having a conversation like, oh well, there's these like different issues, right? In America, there's a guy running in front with a fucking converter frame, like, yeah. Then a motherfucker like coming up with a fucking like LGBTQ like, yeah. And then we're just like, okay, well, we can't really have a fucking discussion now, can we?
As well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a
has 30 followers but still pays money for the fucking blue check mark. Go suck a dick, man. I'm sorry, M Alpha. You just go suck a fucking dick. Okay? I don't know, man. A ratio can happen to somebody that has more or less fucking followers no matter what. Because everybody sees MrBeast's fucking tweet no matter what, and the guy. And then it can still become a massive reverse in multiple times. Of course, it's harder for M to, you know, easier for M to be ratioed, man, but still.
Howard, who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life. In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the videos. For example, in a recent live stream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery
Yeah, you got fucking 5k likes. Imagine if I got fucking 5k likes on a video. I would be happy as fuck, man. I'll probably get a bunch of followers of that.
Boxes. Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does.
Okay.
It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female.
I don't know if that's again, I didn't watch the stream, right? But let me assume something. I don't know exactly. Have you guys ever streamed for 6 fucking hours just doing the same fucking thing over and over again, trying to drag it out? Have you guys ever done that? Because I'm not sure if you guys are watching my stream right now. It happens, and you are sometimes not gonna know what the fuck to talk about, unless of course you're me. But 99%, like, I know what to talk about. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. And I'm just sitting there. Of course, it rarely happens. But I'm just sitting there. And I'll sit there for 30 seconds, not say much. And this is live streamed. I'm sorry, man, but like, that's a really bad argument. There's a lot of people don't have that same dynamic on a video as they do on stream. Sometimes, like, their content doesn't really work that much on a stream as it does on other cases, right? And I don't think that people would care that much about fucking Chris and what the fuck he's wearing. Okay? Open packages, it took very long time. Yeah, exactly. That's a really good argument. Like, it took a long time. Okay, like, it's a bunch of fan posts. They're reading it. It takes a while. They're probably signing shit as well. They're having to send stuff back. Like, they're all doing different shit, right? And you probably don't, like, imagine your call right here. You're sitting next to Chandler, Chris, and MrBeast, and 2 other fucking guys, and the cameraman going right behind the kind of camera. There's a lot of things happening, probably a lot of noise, a lot of things happening, right? You don't want to be the guy that takes up all the camera time, all the attention either. It just feels like a really big strawman argument here. I would scream because I would be bald in my 20s. Exactly.
Making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind. MrBeast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid of awkward moments.
That's just
However,
a joke, though. Like, I don't want to.
It would act as fodder for another 100 million.
Chris and gonna miss the goat. Chris sitting closer to Jimmy. MrBeast confronts Chris after coming out. What happened
Views
to
worth
Chris?
of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going?
Have you guys ever heard about the good content? I'm not talked so much about this like in the past, and you guys know that I know it. I'm gonna say it again. When the content is good, nobody gives a shit about anything else. If I make good content and I have a controversy, I would even assume that people are still gonna watch me. If I have a controversy and I stop making content or make shit content, people will turn on you. They will. There's a reason why people that get famous by Reddit are hated by Reddit over a lot of time. And there's so many fucking issues with it, man.
Going to happen? Well, maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the first place? Perhaps the opposite will happen, and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris.
Yeah, that's actually true. I do feel like it's just that. Again, it's just that. I do feel like that's probably like the whole fucking thing.
That there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the videos.
I don't, like, right there, right, I never understood the whole thing with, like, people looking up to other people, right? Like, I've never understood that. Whenever I see, like, a black guy on screen, like Samuel L. Jackson playing fucking Mace Windu, like, I'm like, that's fucking me. Whenever I see a guy, an Asian guy, Jackie Chan, just fucking beating the fuck out of people, I'm like, that's me. Whenever I see, I'm sorry right here, but I cannot remember, like, a female one that just makes me feel like that's me. Which I need to find one. When I watch the Resident Evil movies, give me a second, I can find her. Resident Evil movies. What is her name? When I watched these movies, right, and I saw like fucking Mila Jovovich be like kicking the fuck out of goddamn zombies and shit like that, I thought, that's fucking me right there. I've never understood the whole thing, like having to look up to people and bullshit like that. I never understood that. Maybe it's just because like I'm not a fucking weirdo and I can just be whoever the fuck I want to be, but I never understood that.
He cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway. And if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction. When I see a black guy, Samuel
Jackson, I am like, does not finish. When I see an Asian, like, that's me. Did I not say that Samuel L. Jackson? Yeah, but again, that's me. That's me.
From the premise of the movie or video. On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion, which could be seen as a benefit.
I'm gonna enjoy the videos as much as I've always done. I don't really watch MrBeast anymore, but it does also feel like a bunch of people that used to watch MrBeast are probably gonna hate it because like they grew out of watching it and now they just don't like it anymore. Same thing happens with PewDiePie. There's so many other channels where like people grew out of fucking watching somebody and it's just, yeah.
For the MrBeast brand.
Community.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
you're a Keemstar?
The problem is this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract.
Do you know what? I hate being a part of things for one reason. That means I have to do something. I have to do stuff. It sucks so much having to do anything else than just getting up and go up from bed, sitting here on my chair streaming, getting up my bed on a normal day, going to the train station, going to school, and going home, and then streaming again. I hate having to do anything else than just the bare fucking minimum. That shit sucks. Chris was a woman, still the same than a guy.
Tracked, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation for MrBeast. I think Jimmy is in an inescapable situation.
Yes.
If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real. An inescapable situation.
I don't feel like his channel is gonna fucking die. I don't feel like his channel, even if Chris stays. I know that a lot of people because Chris didn't, wasn't put there to check off a fucking box of now we have a trans LGBTQ person in there. No, that's not how it works. He was there and then it just became that over time. There's a fucking massive difference.
Is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it deserves the harsh label of being a nightmare. Jimmy has no option but...
Jimmy is literally bigger than his channel at this point, okay? He's running multiple fucking businesses, multi-million businesses. He's has multi-million fucking subscriber channels. He doesn't give a shit, okay? It's not gonna matter to him. He's gonna make the money at the end of the day. Now,
to publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious...
I fucking love that name, Boob Guy 7. That's a fucking
severe repercussions.
I should have called my channel Boob Guy 7 instead of FrizoYT.
In accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings, and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press.
Listen. They got rid of Jake the Viking. They got rid of that, there was that black guy as well. And they got rid of so many fucking people, okay? Because they just didn't fit the channel anymore, okay? If they get rid of Chris, I'm not gonna see it as anything different than what happened to Jake the Viking. Happened to I don't remember what his name was. There's that black guy as well. I just don't think it's different. Is it anti fucking straight then to get rid of them then? I'll never understand it. I don't get it.
Press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy,
I don't think
forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
I gotta say, man, I genuinely think this video was dog shit. It makes sense, like the fucking likes. I do feel this video was dog shit. I do think as it always does, it does bring up a lot of good arguments. But these arguments are just built up by strawman arguments, and it's just kind of like I feel like they're just really, really, really bad. I understand why it's getting so much fucking hate. I fucking get that. If I wasn't, you know, just a guy that just enjoys looking at a fucked up situation and laughing at it, I would give a like or dislike here. But I'm just not. I don't care that much. It's not gonna have an effect on me. They mostly build up not about Chris like a person, but MrBeast brand. Yeah, it does feel like they're just tying MrBeast to Chris and like the brand in itself so fucking heavily, and it's wild.
I did my job.